What's up, buddies? What Jim? And welcome to episode 4 of Discussing Disney. And at this time, we're discussing the 2010 film Tangled. And I'm, of course, joined by Jason, the Old Millennial. And I'm also joined by Jacob Martin, aka Jacob Ryder.
Uh,
And
yeah,
I'm not for
you
what
guys
Jim.
leave me no choice
I'm for
in
what
talking
Jim.
about this movie. Here comes
Yeah.
the smolder.
Do you have the smolder?
I don't. I can't do the smolder.
Here comes the smolder.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talk about this one. I've only seen it twice.
Yeah, this is kind of a big deal movie for me as a Disney fan. Because when this movie came out, I didn't watch a lot of animated Disney movies, especially the ones I grew up with. By this point, I was like this moody teenager, pretty much. I viewed a lot of the animated stuff, especially the Disney animated films, as nothing but kids stuff. I'm like, I've outgrown these movies. I don't have to watch these movies anymore.
Oh man.
And so yeah, they announced Tangled. I'm like, nah, this doesn't look good. I'm not gonna watch this. So I did not see this movie in theaters. However, a year after Tangled came out, it was my freshman year, and we decided, I think in the band, we went on a field trip to Disney World. And around the time we were building up going to Disney World, I'm like, you know what? Just for old time nostalgia's sake, I'm going to watch all these animated Disney movies from my childhood, see if they held up. And then I watched, the movies that we had, most of which were on VHS, some on DVD, and I'm like, okay, a lot of these movies still hold up pretty good. You can be a teenager, you can be, now years later, grown adult, and still enjoy these movies, enjoy the artistry of these movies and the storytelling and everything. And so I'm like, you know what? Tangled's the newest film. Maybe I should check it out, see how it fares compared to these old Disney films. Man, was I surprised at how great this movie is. It's, to me, it was a good breath of fresh air because Disney didn't have a good run throughout the 2000s, even though I grew up with some of those movies.
Yeah.
But this one was a good return to form. It felt like they were trying to do like the Disney Renaissance era style Disney movie, but with a new fresh spin on it. I think some of the songs have more of a modern pop feel compared to some of the ones in the past. Like, yeah, you begin with like "When Will My Life Begin," and it feels like a song you could hear on the radio. And not that took me out of the movie or anything, because it's a well-crafted song. Then you have obviously the CG animation as well. And even with that, I'm like, okay, they still were able to tell a great story, do what they've done in the past, do a fresh spin on it, and make a great movie with it. And that's how Disney's been able to thrive for so many years, especially with the fairy tale Disney princess type films. And this one really surprised me watching it. I didn't even know it was a musical going in either, because the movie was not marketed as a musical. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, I'm like, these songs are really good. Who wrote these songs? And then Alan Menken popped up. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. They're trying to get back to Disney Renaissance level quality. And man, I hate that I never saw this film in theaters. I missed out on this and Princess and the Frog. And
I missed out on it as well.
Those are two amazing movies.
I missed out on it, and I was just right age for it as well.
Yeah. But yeah, Tangled's a great. Hey, Henry, what's going on?
This is one of the Disney movies got back into Disney. Well, that Enchanted and Princess and the Frog.
I actually, well, Henry knows my answer to that debate. I like Frozen a little bit more. That's just me personally, but they're both great movies.
When did Princess and the Frog?
Princess and the Frog was 2009. Tangled was 2010. Frozen was 2013.
Okay, so
Okay.
Princess came out just before this one.
Yeah.
I've actually not seen Princess and the Frog. It's not one I've gotten to yet.
Yeah. Um, see that one, I like that one a little bit more than Tangled personally. I think one because I'm a sucker for 2D animation. I think the songs in that movie are excellent, and I like the main character.
Did you watch Tangled when it came out, Jason?
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of had the same experience maybe as Jacob in some senses that I wasn't really watching the Disney movies that were coming out because from my memory, the couple of Disney movies before this one came out, I wasn't a fan of. Like I was like kind of disappointed. And it seemed like they went away from the musical aspect. I guess you said Princess Frog was the year before.
That was
So
like their attempt to bring it back.
that was when they brought back the musical, I guess. I thought it was this movie, but I guess it was Princess and the Frog. They kind of went there. But I don't know. There was a string of movies that I wasn't like a fan of. I think for Disney, and they weren't musicals, and they kind of went away from that for a while after the Renaissance. And so I remember just thinking, oh, Disney like lost their magic, and weren't making like as good movies anymore. So it's funny when Tangled came out, I wasn't interested in seeing it in the theater. While the Renaissance, I saw every movie in the theater, pretty much from Aladdin to Tarzan. I even saw Chicken Little in the theater, a couple of that stuff,
I did too.
Meet the Robinsons. I don't know if that came around this time. I saw that in
Yeah,
the
Meet
theater.
the Robinsons was after Chicken Little, and then there was Bolt.
And Bolt, yeah. And I don't think I saw Bolt in the theater. But anyways, there are a couple, I don't know. I was kind of like down on Disney at the moment. It's funny. And then Tangled came out and I didn't go see it. And then I heard some people say it was a pretty good movie. And so I rented it on Blockbuster back in the day. I think I had Blockbuster at the time, maybe, or Netflix. I can't remember. I rented it. I think it was Blockbuster, but I rented it. And I was like, wow, I was blown away how good this movie was. I was like, wow, this is like one of the best Disney movies I've ever seen. Like, I mean, and to this day, it's like top 5 favorite Disney movie.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I absolutely loved the story, and the music was really great. I loved, like I said, I love that they went. To me, this is almost like the beginning of another Renaissance. Like this reminds me of the Renaissance age of the late '80s or into the '90s. Yeah, I love the style of this. Yeah, you're right. It's more pop, I guess. I always say it's like this Broadway style, but this is maybe more pop oriented. But I absolutely loved it. I don't know. We'll get into the songs maybe or at some point, but overall, yeah, it was funny. Music was great. I thought the love story was maybe one of the best love stories ever told in Disney. In fact,
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
I just totally bought in on this love story. And sometimes I watch a movie and I go, it seems forced. This one didn't seem forced, and I really believed in it. And yeah, Flynn Rider is amazing. He's one of my favorite characters. The Smolder, I love the Smolder. Yeah. All that is fantastic, and the ending, the climatic ending, is great. Like I was like surprised at the ending, like I wasn't expecting that to happen, and I was like, "Wow, brilliant!" It was just brilliant story writing, in my opinion. Overall, animation is also fantastic.
Joseph
Um,
Enchanted with 2007. Yeah,
oh, was it okay?
never seen it. I'll have it to watch this.
Joe, that's Mike's brother, isn't it?
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two Z's. They never watched a lot of movies.
But to me, this was like the start of this really great era. Maybe this might almost be my favorite era of Disney, to be honest.
The revival era.
One of my favorites.
Because this movie, Frozen, Moana, and like Zootopia are like all my like top 10 favorite Disney movies. So
Oh wow,
these are just absolutely fantastic movies.
yeah. Tangled's not in my top 10, but it's in my top 20. That's just because there's so many good movies that they put out over the years.
Yeah.
But what do you like about the movie, Jacob?
Oh, there's a lot I really like about the movie. I feel like this is the first Disney movie where they really got the CGI down, and this is just I'm talking about Disney animation, not referencing Pixar here.
Right.
Like their first one where they didn't have to rely on Pixar, and make a really high quality CGI animated movie. Because their other attempts to CGI was not really the best. They tried experimenting with CGI and live action backgrounds in Dinosaur. That one, it was good for its time, but I don't think that movie has fully aged that well visually.
I've never seen Dinosaur.
Yeah. And Chicken Little, like, that's one of the worst animated movies out there, and I don't like the designs in that movie. Meet the Robinsons, I feel like the CGI is kind of hit and miss. Like, there's some good backgrounds in there, but the human characters look kind of plasticky. And they kind of took me out of the movie. Bolt, step up. I don't think it was quite there yet, but it's a step in the right direction. Then you get Tangled, and you have like high quality animation again from them, especially the backgrounds, which feel like it's straight out of a fairy tale book. The way the character designs, very well done. There's some beautiful visual sequences in the film. I was watching it again actually this morning before we went live, and I was just like blown away by some of these sequences. Like when they're at the kingdom for the first time, Rapunzel at the kingdom, and she realizes, oh, it's about this finding this lost princess, and instead of it being everyone being gloom and sad about it, she like stirs them all up, gets them dancing and stuff, and then the music swells and intensifies. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the tune in the soundtrack is called Kingdom Dance, and it's one of Alan Menken's best instrumental scores. Like, it's really excellent if you haven't heard it by itself.
And the
Mike and Joe. Yeah, I'm containing myself.
But then that segues into the floating lanterns when they're releasing the lanterns out, and then Rapunzel seeing it, and she's like getting all over it, and then I See the Light song plays. It's one of the most visually dazzling scenes in any Disney movie, especially from the revival era. And since they've done more CGI films, I remember getting goosebumps when I first saw this. I'm like, man, at that moment, I was like, Disney, I think you've got your game back with a scene like that. But
yeah,
you got that. I like the love story, like you already mentioned. There's somebody I know in the YouTube space who's a Disney fan and who has Tangled as one of her favorite Disney films.
Okay.
And she described this film as Disney's first romantic comedy. That's the way she described it, which, I don't think this is a full-on traditional romantic comedy in the sense of the word, but I can definitely see where she's coming from. Rachel's Review, shout out to that channel. Because I think the romance, this is probably the front and center in this movie with Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. And I think the relationship is well developed, it's fleshed out, and it's actually very believable throughout. And I do like the way they develop both characters very equally. It's not just a Rapunzel story, but it's also Flynn Rider's story. I think they get equal screen time in this film, which I thought was actually really refreshing to see, because you think this would be the Rapunzel show, but Flynn Rider is just as important of a character as Rapunzel is, and I respect the movie for that. Great villain. This was probably Disney's last big villain for the longest time. We got a villain again recently in Wish, which I thought was very welcoming. But I thought Mother Gothel was a very well crafted villain character. She's not like mustache twirly or anything like that, but she's very despicable in a very cruel way because of how manipulative she is. Like Rapunzel this whole time thinks she's a loving mother who cares for her, but she just manipulates her and secretly, coldly brings her down just so she can stay young and keep her youth. And there's rewatching it again, there's some lines that she says to Rapunzel this whole movie. I'm like, dang, that's cold. She looks in the mirror and she's like, oh, I look in the mirror and I see this beautiful, young, strong woman. And you think she's talking about Rapunzel. And then she's like, oh, wait, you're here too. And I'm like, oh.
That was cold.
Yeah, that's pretty cold. You got that Chris Stapleton song playing in the background, or in my mind. Oh, it's gonna be so cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, the songs in the movie are really good too. Mother Knows Best is a great villain song.
Mhm.
I like When Will My Life Begin, which opens the movie, Rapunzel singing. That song took on a whole new meaning, I felt like, during COVID times. People were
Yeah.
stuck in their homes with nothing better to do.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a good song. I like the song I Got a Dream,
I
where
got
you got the thugs in the bar or whatever, and they're all singing about their lifelong dream, but they're not as rough and scary as they look on the outside. I thought that was a good song. And then, of course, I
Yeah.
See the Light, terrific song. I don't even think it was. Jason, you're the Oscar guy. Was it nominated for Best Original Song or was it snubbed?
Yeah, I believe it was nominated. Yeah, for best.
Okay. Well, it was at least it was
It should
nominated.
be anyway.
That was the only nomination it got was best song. It didn't even get nominated for best animated movie, which I thought was a crime.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Not even nominated.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even nominated for Best Animated Feature.
No, which I thought was terrible. But it got
Yeah.
best.
At least it got the song nomination. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could even nominate Alan Menken for score, probably. But yeah, at least
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah, the score from Alan Menken is really good in this film, especially the Kingdom Dance scene. Yeah, there's a lot to admire in this movie, but I'll let everybody else have a say.
Yeah, so I'll quickly talk about what I liked about the movie, which is pretty much what you guys both mentioned. Great animation, great songs and score, and characters as well. But we've not touched on the characters Maximus or Pascal yet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think those characters are great, especially Maximus. I think he's hilarious. He simply gets the
Maximus I
funniest
feel like
scenes.
has some of the best laughs in this movie.
more like a dog than a horse.
And he's fighting all those guys with that frying pan.
Yeah, yeah, I
He's
love
really
that.
funny as
The
a
frying
character.
pan.
That's like my favorite line from the movie is frying pan. Who knew? I don't know why it cracks me up every time I see it.
No, I like the part where Flynn and Maximus are fighting each other, and Flynn's got the frying pan, and Maximus has a sword in his mouth, and they're fighting, and then Flynn's like, "You should know this is the strangest thing I have ever done," and then he loses the frying pan. How about 2 out of 3?
Yeah, how much 2 out of 3? Yeah, I thought it was very funny.
Frying pans.
But I think the main villain in the film with Gothel, I think she's one of the better Disney villains.
Yeah. Oh, she's fantastic.
But I love pretty much all the characters in this movie.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick a favorite, really. It's not going to be that long.
I don't think it's that long. I think he's exaggerating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like how they animated her hair.
Oh, it's great animation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially when it turns gold when she's
yeah,
singing.
the magic hair that glows when she sings.
Yeah. But I think the movie.
I love that part where she heals Flynn Rider's hand after she sings. Like, don't freak out. He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That was very funny.
Oh, your hair that magically heals you or something.
I also found it quite funny when Flynn and Maximus were falling, and they were just looking at each other before they fell.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good comedy in this movie. I also like the running gag with Flynn's wanted posters, and they exaggerate his nose.
Yeah.
Like, they can't get my nose right.
He's all upset. Even though he's not upset about being wanted, he's upset about the picture.
Yeah.
One time it's really bad. The nose is like really bad. He's like, "Come on!" Like, now you're being hurtful.
Yeah.
But I think the movie is just the right length, and it's paced pretty well as well.
Perfectly paced.
Oh yeah, very well paced. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of the better Disney films I've seen.
Yeah.
I think even Flynn Rider gets a good backstory here as well, and gets some good moments where you find out his name's Eugene and his backstory.
Yeah.
That really makes you like Flynn is just not this playboy kind of adventure guy, but there's something deeper there. I kind of like.
There's more to him than.
Yeah, there's more to him
than
than
that.
just at first you just think he wants money.
I found it pretty cool. Yeah,
I like that.
backstory. A bit of backstory to him.
Yeah.
As Pascal, that's the
That's a chameleon.
chameleon. Yeah, I could change his color. He keeps sticking his tongue, like I think, in his ear. He's like, stop
Oh
it.
yeah, doing that.
No, I like the part where she interrogates Flynn.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts of the film.
I like it's like, I have hidden this satchel in a place where you'll never find it. It's in the pod, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now it's hidden somewhere to where you'll never find it.
You don't see it. You could just hear the noise, but you don't see that bit.
That's what made it funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole scene. All right, here comes the smolder. I'm having an off day or something.
That's one of my favorite lines from the film.
Yeah.
He thinks the smolder works on all the women, but I'm having an off day.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite overall moment is it's probably the ending when she's with her family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that you can get that much emotion where you see the pain in the parents because she's been gone for like 18 years and how they still haven't lost hope because they're still releasing the floating lanterns. And then at the end when they reunite at the end, and you can get all that and they have no dialogue.
They have no dialogue, yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's crazy how they did all that with no dialogue.
Maybe the first Disney movie where you actually have parents that aren't dead, it feels like.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Feels like they're always dead.
I'm trying to think because even Prince and the Frog, she had the mom and dad, but then when she grew up, the dad died, but the mom was still alive.
Yeah. It almost always happens at Disney movies. That's like a big thing.
Do you guys have any negatives on this movie?
I'm trying to think. There's like nothing in the movie that's like downright terrible in the film. There's nothing about it I would say makes it like hurts my score down or anything. I think it's a fantastic film.
No negatives for me.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I do like the thugs in the restaurant, the Ugly Duckling. I thought that was a funny bit. The guy with the hook hands was voiced by Brad Garrett.
Yeah, Brad Garrett, so good.
Go live your dream.
Thanks.
Oh, your dream stinks. I was talking to her.
I forgot how funny the film is.
Yeah,
it's hilarious at times.
That's one of the best ones. That scene where I think they're like, okay, it's your turn to sing, and he's like, I don't want to. And then they like pull out a bunch of weapons.
The knives. Yeah, that was funny.
To the song.
Because Zachary Levi, who voiced Flynn Rider, he's done some Broadway stuff.
I didn't know he could sing. He can sing really good.
Yeah, he does excellent.
Yeah, he's excellent in this movie.
Oh, I was blown away. They sang it at the Oscars. I remember they sang it at the Oscars too. Zachary Levi,
Mandy Moore, right?
Mandy Moore, yeah, they sang the duet at the Oscars. I thought it was fantastic, and I was like, he sang it. Like, I just think him as this funny kind of actor because at the time he's doing like Chuck on the TV show, I think, and I think it was mostly he's known for the Chuck TV show.
Yeah, I think at the time he was. And then now, people know him as either this character or Shazam.
The character.
Yes.
But I have to talk about one of my favorite scenes of all time is that I Can See the Light sequence.
Oh, yeah.
That blew me away. That
it's one of the best parts of the movie.
Blew me away when I first saw it. I had to rewind it and watch it again. It was one of those scenes where I'm like, I gotta watch this again. Like, this is
it's a very rewatchable scene.
Oh, it's like one of those. Yeah, to me, it's one of those scenes. Like, if it's on, like, if I come across it on TV or something, I have to stop and watch it.
You got to watch it about 3 or 4 times.
I'm watching the scene now because I can't. It's one of those where I'm like, everybody, shut up! I'm watching this scene right now. Like this is so good. But yeah, how it starts off with the king and queen putting off the first light, and then everybody else starts putting off their lights. And the visual, it's one of the best visual scenes I've ever seen. Like with all the lights coming over the sky, and they're in a boat in like this river, whatever, lake, and the lights come down, and it just fills the sky, and it goes around them. It's like, wow, visually, it's just really great. And then when that song starts,
it's the best song of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best
one
song.
of my favorite as well.
It's one of the best Disney songs.
One of my favorite Disney songs of all time. I thought it should win the Oscar. Like I was like, this should win the Oscar. This is, I don't know who. I can't remember what won the Oscar, but I guarantee this was a better song.
I can look that up real quick. Who won the Oscar?
Interesting question from Mike. If it should make it Tangled live action.
I don't think they need to. I wouldn't mind.
I'm getting bored of live action remakes.
I'm very burned out on the live action remakes.
Yeah, I'm getting burnt out with them. I've not seen the last couple of them.
Actually, the song that won the Oscar that year was actually "We Belong Together" from Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3.
I forgot Toy Story 3 came out that year.
I don't even that song.
Randy Newman sung it. Is that the end of the movie?
I don't know that song. I've got to check it out after this.
It's a good song. I think I see the lights better.
I see the lights much better though.
Yeah.
I don't really have any negatives with this movie.
Yeah.
I think maybe a couple of scenes could have had a bit more explanation or a bit more backstory. I wouldn't have minded.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it is kind of weird that Rapunzel somehow, like when she saw just a random star on the top of the ceiling, she has this deja vu moment that flashes back to when she was born. I'm like, how do you remember that far, lady?
That could have happened years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I fully buy that, but it's a fairy tale. I guess I can overlook that.
Yeah.
There's this one. I will say there's this one weird character that I don't care for, and he's in the bar scene. He's really small. He's like the small guy.
Oh yeah,
like the Cupid looking guy.
What's his name? I don't know what his name is.
And he has
I just call him Cupid because that's what he looks like.
He's the last character you see in a movie.
Yeah. He has a really cringy line that gets me every time. Hey, he's like trying to hit on the.
Oh yeah.
Somebody pour me a glass of water.
Water. Like,
I was thinking, what do you mean by that?
Like that's a horrible line. Like,
well, I like the payoff where she like puts a knife in. It's like, where's that tunnel lead out? And he's like, knife.
Yeah. Yeah, that joke didn't really work for me. I was like, oh, that's a weird joke to throw in all of a sudden.
What would you guys rate this movie? Out of 10?
Actually, before we do that, there's one other moment I want to mention. Like this film has some really good emotion in it. Like I brought up the stuff with her parents, but then the other part where you get to the big climax, and Flynn climbs up the tower to save Rapunzel, and then it turns out to be a big trap. Rapunzel's in prison, and Gothel stabs him. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it got dark very quickly.
I was like,
yeah.
I saw like the film. I always make fun of like the MPAA sometimes for how they rate movies, and especially their reasoning for it. This movie got a PG rating because it said brief, mild violence.
Yeah.
I think it was just that one part of like, that gave it a PG? I mean, there's darker deaths, Flynn doesn't die in this movie, but there's darker deaths in other Disney movies that are rated G.
Yeah.
Or darker subject matter in general, like pretty much Frollo's character in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's rated G.
That's one of the darkest Disney deaths.
Yeah.
Hey, you're right. It says for brief, mild violence. You're right.
Yeah.
But what would you give this movie out of 10?
Out of 10, yeah, I think I'm gonna go 10 out of 10 on this. I think this is a great return to form for Disney. I think it felt like they were going back to what they were successful with the Disney Renaissance. Made little tweaks to it with its emphasis. I think an even bigger emphasis on the love story. A little bit of action in there, which was pretty awesome. Some good comedy, some emotion in there. This felt like I think what Disney needed at the time, and it was a good. It wasn't the film that started the revival, but it was like the film that showed, hey, we're making our comeback, and it's a great one. It was a great one to revive the studio in the 2010s. I'd love for them to make a movie like this again to revive the studio where they're at now. But
Yeah, I agree. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. It's pretty much a perfect movie for me. I think the story writing is just brilliant. Like I said, the way they started, and how the hair takes effect at the end, how he defeats the villain with the hair. I think it's just really, really great. Like, I didn't see it coming. I was like, wow, like that was a great way to defeat the villain.
I think the movie is overall quite unpredictable.
Yeah,
especially when you get to the climax. Like I said, she stabs Flynn, and then Rapunzel's like, no, okay, if you let me heal him, I'll stay with you for the rest of my life. And like, oh, that's gonna be sad. She's willing to do that, but it's like the act of selflessness,
sacrificing herself.
Which is why I appreciate Beauty and the Beast so much. And Flynn's like, no, I can't let you do this. Let me kiss you real quick. And then he's about to kiss her, gets that broken piece of glass, cuts her hair off, and pretty much breaks the magic pretty much. I'm like, whoa, okay, so Flynn is gonna die after all. And then you think he is gonna die, and then come to find out that magic flower that was in Rapunzel the whole time, her tears can heal people.
Also,
I like that. I didn't see that coming either when I first saw it.
But I think I'll give the film a 9 out of 10. It's my fifth favorite Disney movie. And the next one we're going to be reviewing is also my top 5 of them. And then I think we've reviewed all my top 5 Disney movies then.
Oh, okay.
And it's Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph's next one we'll be doing.
Wreck-It Ralph's next.
I saw that one in theaters when it came out.
Yeah, that's a good one to talk about.
But yeah, I enjoyed rewatching Tangled and talk about that film.
Yeah.
It's one of the best Disney movies out there.
Yep. Also, a quick plug on my channel. I did a Jake Sings on I See the Light.
Yeah.
I've got to watch it after. I've not seen it.
Yeah.
I've got to watch it after this.
Yeah. It was weird trying to.
Got a lot of scrapes.
Oh, I love the horse.
Maximus the horse.
Yeah.
Good on Max.
Yeah, try singing "I See the Light" when you're just one guy singing both parts.
I know. I was like, "How are you gonna do this?"
Just sung it.
Because the best part is when they sing together. But yeah.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Jason sings.
Yeah. Maybe someday.
You were in a band one time, right?
I wasn't in a band, no.
I thought you were. You played guitar. That's what it was.
Yeah, I have a guitar. I actually ordered some strings the other day because I haven't had any guitar strings for a while, and I finally ordered some online. So maybe I'll put it together and maybe I'll play it at some point.
Okay,
That'll be cool.
Jake sings, Jason plays.
Yeah.
But thanks everyone. It's been a live chat. Henry and Joseph and Mike, and of course my mum as well.
Yeah.
Of course. Pretty's always great.
Do you guys have any final words and any Tangled quotes to finish the review off?
Why would I want to cut your hair? The only thing I want to do with your hair is to get out of it.
Yeah, that's really funny, that bit. But thanks for watching, everyone. Please let us know your thoughts on Tangled in the comments of this live stream. Until next time, bye for now. Ciao.